Thanks. Hi.
Hi.
A question, and it has to do with relationships. And I'm in a relationship, and I've been in one for over a year, and uh, it's the type of relationship I want to be in. And yet, there's this solar plex thing that comes up, especially around our intimacy, and so I have this resistance, but I don't. I haven't said yes, and I haven't said no, and talking a lot about the body knows, and I get in this space where there's love here, and I'm seen, and a lot of my relationships before have been dysfunctional, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like I'll choose this even if I feel this intense pain in my chest, because what? Like a codependent, poor relationship's going to feel really right because it fits my conditioning, and fuck
Mm-hmm.
that. And but I just don't know what to do with it because it's with me all the time. It's
Yeah.
this like, this is what I want. This feels really right, and yet there's this like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. So what is it saying?
saying just, it's like a scream,
Yeah.
and it tends to happen like around, like especially after we're intimate, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So what's the scream saying? It's screaming. What's it saying?
it feels like it's saying like no, but I also
Okay.
don't trust that.
Okay. It's saying no. Obvious. It's screaming no. What's underneath the no?
Not nausea.
What's the story about no? Why no?
There's something about like I didn't fully get to choose. Like she moved into a collective together, and it kind of happened on its own, but she would have never been somebody I would have chosen had I not gotten to know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this like, I just feel like this rageful, like this isn't what I wanted, and yet it is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I wanted, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
caught between the two.
Okay, then so bring that out in the open just like now. Let yourself know that. This isn't what I wanted, okay? It's the story. It's what you're telling yourself that's causing all this pain. There may be much more to it, by the way, but this is what we have for the moment, right? Let that come out. Explore that. Forget about the other part that says, but this is what I want. Okay, fine. Put that in the background for the moment, because that's not causing you the problem. It's the other thing. Okay?
I
So I'm
got,
going to give you some homework.
okay.
All right? Because we could, do part of it here and you'd have a nice little release and it would all look good and everyone, we'd all be happy and everything. But I have an intuition there's going to be layers to this thing. Okay? There's going to be much more to this. Here's the homework, though. This is the homework to get through the layers. Exactly what we're doing. Get in touch with the feeling state, like you are, right? That no, that scream. There's a desperateness in it, and an anger and a rage in it. Don't edit your emotions, and don't edit what the thinking comes out of it. Okay, that's the most. You can't edit it and get in touch with it. So let it be what it is. You've already started. You've told me some of it, right? I don't want this, or I didn't want this, and I didn't get to choose, whatever it is. Get very specific about what that emotion is speaking, right? Which means it can be very useful to literally write down in one sentence, this is I didn't want this. Go to the next. What else is that feeling? What's it saying? What's its story? What's its belief, right? I don't know what it will be. It could be anything you can imagine. This isn't analysis. You're listening to what the emotion is saying. And it already spoke to you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It will continue to speak. Get these down. Write them down. Write them down because then they can't jump away. You know how it can get all jumbled in your mind? You can get two or three of them going, and then what do you do with two or three floating all over haphazardly in your head? You write them down. They're right there. You can go back to them anytime you want. And then and then each one of those, Look at it, read it, feel it. Very important. Feel what you read, because it is these thought patterns that is creating this pain. And as you read through them and feel them, you can start to really ask yourself, is this actually true? But never answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to be answered. It's to bring consciousness into the system.
I'll do that.
Right? It's homework. And it's not like it's not like something you do this, and then this is the result. It's you're just doing it, and you're doing it, and then at any moment things open up. It might open at the beginning, the middle, the end. You don't know where the opening is. You're not trying to force it. You're just being really specific. You'll be amazed by your own capacity to look into your experience. Yeah?
Yeah, it feels like a trust issue, like outside of the relationship. I don't know what to trust, and I know I can't. Any impulse I have, I know is trying to reorganize.
Okay, there's the next one, right?
So I can notice that, but then I just get left, and pretty soon I'm picking my cuticles, and it's an old habit, and it feels like it's too much.
Right.
I'm out of my range, and
there it is. See, okay. I don't know what to trust.
Yes.
It's too much. You see how they come out of you?
Yes.
It's beautiful how they come out. You have everything in you need, right? They just come out of you. These are your doorways to freedom, my friend. It's the illusions, it's the assumptions, it's the very innocent, mistaken ideas. These are your keys to your freedom. They literally are. That's why I say, let them, because see, like you just spit 2 or 3 of them out, right? They just came out of your mouth as you were talking. Could you see how easily these could get totally lost and forgotten if they're just in your mind? That's why I say, in things like this, when it's tumultuous, it's good to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go back to each one and feel it and experience, and the next thing will open up. The next thing will open up. And it will open up for you if you keep with it. Right? I have given many people this homework over the years. Be quite honest, not many people follow it through. But every time, the ones that really do, it always opens it up for them. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like school. You got to do the homework or you don't learn it. Your system doesn't learn it unless you go through the process. But if you do it, you'll be amazed by the capacities you have for things to open inside of you. Yeah?
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I will do that. And it's about it being hard, this process.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about that it, on some level, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
And I've heard that from other people who seem awake to me.
Yes.
And yet they all say, believe me, I've tried everything and made it as hard as possible. And so.
But you have no control over that.
I don't understand what that means.
It's something you realize when it's pretty much done. You look back and you go, what the hell was all that for?
But was that the homework?
That was totally unnecessary. All that struggle, all that effort, all that everything, it wasn't necessary. And it's not necessary. And if you can hear that it's not necessary, if it can actually be totally let into your system, if it gets in there, which usually it doesn't, it gets into the brain but doesn't get all the way in because there's too many defenses against it, it's true. Nothing's required. It need not be difficult. All of that's true. But here's another truth. The only thing that's true for you is what's true for you. You see what I mean? Lest you walk around for the rest of your life with an idea in your head that says, I don't have to make any effort. And then 30 years later, you're as deluded as you started out with, but you still got a concept that I don't have to make any effort. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, your experience dictates, right? Nisargadatta, one of the most sort of extreme Advaitic guys you'll ever come across, and he was constantly berating those that came to him to relax and stop making effort, but he also said, he also said you must know when and how much effort to make and when and how much effort to let go of. You see, one of the statements is an absolute truth. No effort's necessary. The other one is it helps you relatively be where you are. It helps you to take the next step. Right? So it might take a little effort to write this down and look at it. Fine. Make the effort when it's apparent to make it, and let go of the effort when it's apparent to let go of it. See? Then you're never imposing anything upon yourself. You're never imposing an idea upon yourself of what's necessary or not. You feel it from the inside. You'll feel it when it's necessary. Bring a little forth. You'll feel it when it's not necessary. Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
And ultimately, none of it's necessary, but, you know.